Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm gonna make a video today about the difference between atoms, elements, and compounds. And so I'm gonna talk about elements first. An element is basically, it's a substance that can't be broken down into, like it's the simplest form of a substance. So for example, the elements here in the periodic table, well, they're all elements. Like if I had a bunch of potassium, for example, I can't break down potassium into like any simpler parts. It's just going to be potassium, potassium. Same with like oxygen. If I'm breathing a bunch of oxygen, it can't be broken down into anything else really. So if I were to write a definition, I would say that an element is a basic substance that can't be simplified. So for example, if I had oxygen or hydrogen. So if I took oxygen and I just represented it by like all of these dots here, this is all like one element of oxygen. And then if I did the same thing for hydrogen, say I had all of these open circles, for example. They're all the same thing, they're all hydrogen. But like we can't break down hydrogen into other pieces, it's just going to be hydrogen, hydrogen, and more hydrogen. Now an atom is just a single piece of an element. So, for example, if I use the oxygen example, that would be one oxygen atom. If I use the hydrogen example, that would be one hydrogen atom. So it's just one tiny little piece of an element. But then obviously we don't just have elements in the world. Like if I took, for example, this board isn't made up of one single element, it's made up of a bunch of different elements. And that's what a compound is. So a compound is a substance made of two or more elements. Hopefully you can still read that. It's kind of hard to see. So for example, if we take water, water is made up of oxygen and hydrogen, and that's why it's called H2O, because it is made up of two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen atom. So we would have two of those hydrogens and one oxygen. And this is true for pretty much everything in existence. It's just compounds made up of a bunch of different elements combined together. Another example would be CO2. It's made up of carbon and oxygen. So that's the difference between elements and compounds. Elements are basic substances that can't be simplified. So like anything you would see in the periodic table, those are all individual elements. And then when we combine them together, we get what is called a compound. If you have any questions at all, feel free to let me know. Until next time, see you guys.